The moment you pulled out that knife is the moment you killed me.
Okay, we'll take that. We take that.
So Farhan, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, hi, I'm Farhan Siddiqui. I go to Bellevue High. Currently I'm in 12th grade. I plan to in the future study at Harvard.
Cut the boring
Government.
stuff, bro.
Oh, my bad. Boring stuff.
Just
My
what makes you
favorite.
qualify to talk about theater? That's basically like what you need.
Okay, I have done two international shows, one in India, one in Scotland. I have done 30 plus shows in a span of 4 years. I've made my own theater company that's got a lot. It's a nonprofit, so we just donate everything to local charities here in Bellevue and Seattle. And I've played multiple lead roles. I have done multiple big roles, multiple small roles, lots of improv. So I know bits of everything about what goes into character building process. And I'm going to Harvard for also acting. So of course I must know something to get in for acting. If you know what I mean. So first steps, I need like there's a lot of stereotypes around like acting and theater. Um but what I'm saying is you don't need a for me, everyone tries to put me in a box saying, oh, he's a theater kid or he's a sports kid, and I just do multiple things. But today I'm focusing just on theaters. So for I'm more of an actor. There's a lot of components when it comes to theater itself and on stage versus film. On stage you got techies, we call them techies, just people, technicians that work in the background that get the whole lights working and get the lights, gets the sounds, get the curtains, everything sort of working in the background, which people don't really see. That's why at the end of the shows we sort of thank them like this, even though it's not obvious at all. Also, for acting on stage, it's so easy to some people, very hard for a few, and very few people and master it. But I feel like I'm an intermediate guy, but I'm trying to get to mastery. So like how I first started in acting was in ninth grade. Uh, I just signed up for the class. I just signed up for the class because I saw a musical and I really liked it. And my instructor sort of helped me out to get confidence to do my first show, and then I started doing it. So I thought it was really great. And after I did that first show, it was an improv show. So you make everything on the spot. There's no lines rehearsed, everything you got to make on the spot. So I'm like, wow, this is really fun. So I tried doing it more. And then that's how I got very into theater. I've done shows like Clue at Bellevue High, Dracula, um, Welcome to Camp Sasquatch, Adam's Families. I've done a lot. And also, my own theater show I did was augmented reality, arranged marriage versus love marriage, which was very unique and never really done in like almost in the history of live theater performance, where you have live VR on the character, so you can see what the character is thinking in real time, which is really cool. Um, so more about like dissecting what goes into acting, because most people say, "Oh, I can do what he just did, but even better." It's very more harder than that. In a line, they're like, "Oh, I can." In a line, like example, "To be or not to be," very famous quote from Hamlet.
Yeah,
He,
no,
well, huh?
no.
My bad. Should
Yeah.
have made it more. My bad. But um, you have to. So that's very famous. A lot of people try to dissect it, but most people try to just emphasize almost every word, like to be or not to be. Like they're almost like that's not how you do it properly. You have to emphasize certain words, and you have to like instead of like to be or not to be, or you can do to be or not to be. So you can emphasize any of those words, and how you emphasize them plays to what the character's feeling and what the audience will react to those feelings. So there's more in depth than goes just to like saying the lines. You have to say it with a certain tone of expression. You have to give a certain sort of body language. Like for me, I literally stand in front of a mirror for an hour a day, just like working on my eye movement and eyebrow movement and facial expressions just on working, because you can do so many things like this. It seems like I'm concerned, or like with the same facial expression, but changing with the eyebrows, it changes your whole expression and how people perceive you saying a certain line. Because some actors aren't the best at vocally changing their voice to seem energetic, but their face sort of tells the whole story and vice versa. So that tells a lot about just like what goes into acting. And there's a huge difference between stage acting and film acting. I personally want to do film acting. Hopefully, cross your fingers, trying to go into Hollywood and get in the big leagues. At stage acting and like film acting. Stage acting, you have one shot to do it in a live performance. You mess it up, you're screwed. But or you can just improv your way. While in like live acting, cut, just do it again. Like some takes go like 137. That takes a few hours just for one scene. And also in live theater, you have to sort of sometimes people adapt to their audiences, which is more harder because let's say you're doing a show and you have the live audience in front of you. They're not reacting, you're doing something wrong, or it's just everyone's really tired. And you have to sort of sometimes adapt your certain like your character on the spot to adjust for the audience. So if the audience is more conservative, then you have to try to make your character different to appeal for the conservative crowd than for different types of crowds. If they're a younger crowd, then you have to use more like bigger expressions. If they're much a mature, older crowd, then you got to do subtle the movements to get them laughing or get them very engaged. While in like just in, like I said before, in like the film, it's more so in film, it's more so mastery of your surroundings than mastery of the audience in live theater because you have to know where the cameramans are, how it's going to be portrayed. Like if you got a camera here, you got to know that's your main center. That's where you're playing. If there's two cameras, you need to talk with the camera crew and direction. You have to be very involved with the crew. In live theater, you don't need to be involved with the crew, only your actors. But in film, you have to be very involved with the director, um, directors, the cameraman, sometimes the sound, because if you go too far back, they can't hear you. Or if they know where the mic is, so you know how loud you have to be. Because on stage, you'd have to have a certain voice, and then you're fine. But on camera, if you have a certain voice and the mic's too close, then it's way too loud. And sometimes if you whisper, it can't be picked up on mic unless your mic's like right here. Then you know how it would go. Do you guys have any questions, or I can just continue?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, so what type of stuff have you done like on camera? Because you mentioned a lot of stuff you've done in the stage at Bellevue High School, but have you done any like major projects on camera?
That's a good question. I've not done major projects on camera. I've done like a very few small small productions here and there. Nothing too well known at all, I would say. But I need to do a few more auditions because like for fully understanding like the camera, like how like the film industry works, because the auditions for a film industry is much more different than it's not much more different. It's more similar to like auditioning for live theater, but I feel like once like right now I'm still trying to master fully stage theater because
Hmm.
a lot of famous people said that um live theater is much harder than film theater, and once you sort of master that, then you can go to film theater much more easier. And going back to your question, like I've done a few small things just with my friends, just like working on like how you perceive how like film is more different um than the live theater. One big thing, like I said before, is just like where the mic is at, because it's much more difficult to understand. Like if I'm this far away, I don't know how loud my voice is unless it's a stage and I can literally hear it. But then you have to like check the audio quality and then make adjustments. So in live theater, it's more about major adjustments, and in film, it's more minor adjustments that make huge makes a great actor. The difference between a good actor and a great actor and one of the best actors.
How do you deal with like the nerves of like the on stage? That must be very nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So funny story is before when I did my first like 5 shows, I never had a single like twitch in my nerves. And I was talking with a friend and I jinxed myself. I'm like, oh, when I walk on stage, I never have nerves. That same night we had a show, oh, I was holy, I jinxed myself and I'm still jinxed myself. I get nervous now and I don't like it, but what I do to calm down is like I literally go to like the corner of a room, put my hands on it. It sort of looks like I'm doing a LeBron James ritual where I'm throwing up chalk, but like I'm just like I'm literally just like meditating, breathing, and then I do like sometimes there's like these pre-ritual things I do where if I there's like a stage line, so this is the stage, this is the off stage. The moment I enter stage, I turn into my character, so it sort of helps when I'm not thinking as myself. I'm like, oh, the audience is out there. I'm more thinking within the character. The character is not really thinking, oh, there's an audience in front of me. It's more thinking about I have this people around me, how I'm going to react. Like I was doing Clue, I was like the murderer at the end, so I was more like, oh, I hope everyone knows I'm not the true murderer. So how I deal with the nerves is just like meditating, I would say, sometimes praying if I'm really nervous. And sometimes I go outside and just like scream and let it all out. Yell, not scream. Yell. Sort of get it all out or listen to a hype music video like Fiend. But that's more old school, but that's how I would calm my nerves.
Okay, so previously you mentioned the audition process, right? Would
Yeah.
you like to talk more about the audition process, like what the difficulties are in audition, how an audition works, and just like the difference between an audition and like an actual performance and that type of thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the difference between like let me first just talk about the audition process. So for most people, the audition process, and for I think everybody, most actors, most experienced actors, audition process is the most high pressured because you don't have the role, and the moment you get the role, you're not going to get kicked out unless you do something really bad or you just straight out suck. Um, so like for the auditions, like how it usually goes is multiple people sign up, so it gets hundreds of thousands of people to sign up. I'm talking for like real life experience, not like what happens in school, because school's a little different. And you just wait until your number's called, and you just get you get a number, and you go audition, and you there's like a panel of judges, or there's you not judges, but there's the director, the casting director, the choreographer, just the stage manager, just everyone who's involved with the higher up decisions. And you have to do it in front of them. There's like usually 7 to 8 people if it's like a, but there usually can be more if it's more larger production. And you have to perform. It's very formal. You say you slate. Slating is saying, "Hi, my name is Farhaan Siddiqui, and I'm going to be performing this monologue, Death of a Salesman, by Arthur Miller." And then you perform it, and then after you perform it, you just leave the room. You say, "That's end scene," and then you leave the room. Very formal. Um, you can't. It's very hard to. Sometimes it's hard to show your personality in a minute, but it's more so showing your talent. And after you do that, a few days later, they put your number on there. Sometimes they don't put the name, or sometimes just say you get the role. They email you. So it's sort of scary opening that up, but you just hope for the best. And for the difference between the great question, difference between audition process and actually performing, very, very different. Audition process is sort of like, I'm going to use an example that a lot of 12th graders sort of hate. It's like the college essay. You're selling yourself on the college essay. That's what the audition process is. You're selling yourself. And then in like some colleges have this. It's like a roommate essay. After you get in, you have to do this essay to tell about a bit about yourself so they can pair you up. That's what Harvard does at least. Um, and so that's what the that's sort of getting to know. You're not selling yourself, you're just telling who you truly are, and you're sort of you're just telling what you believe. That's what the actual whole process is of that's the whole process of that performing the show. So overall, auditioning is you're selling yourself and you're saying a monologue that you rehearse many times and it has nothing to do usually with the actual show. And after, because you're just showing what talent you got in the actual show, you're just doing everything related with the show, nothing with your monologue. Like after you say your monologue and you get the part, you should never say it again until your next audition.
All right. How much would you say like going to like a good college matters for acting?
Honestly, it's mostly about networking. So the better college you get into, you can do great networking. Like I met forgot his name. I'll pull it up. I met him at Harvard's pre-orientation day or the admitted students thing, and he actually worked with Hugh Jackman, who plays Wolverine. He was very famous on Broadway before it. So that's like a connection you want to keep and you make, and if you build on those connections, you can also get opportunities through the door. Like what I love about Harvard is, um, like if you went to like a local college, you can build your talent, but in order to show your talent, you need a door open. At Harvard, doors are open all the day. Like usually average people get like one door open or half a door open. At Harvard, you get 10 doors open. So like, I mean, if you can't sell yourself with 10 doors open, then you got to do some change, like heavy changes. Like you got to wreck your whole personality and make something else. But going to good colleges, but after you get to a certain bar, like an example, like for acting, I got into USC and then I got into Harvard, and I really thought about USC because their acting program is very, very good. But overall, I chose Harvard because I feel like they would have stronger connections, stronger networking. So for acting, just purely based on acting, not based on any acting, is mix of three things. If you can master these three things, you set. You're in the next Tom Cruise, next Tom Holland. First one is your talent. So if you master your acting talent, that's good. But sometimes if people got acting talent, they can't get through the door. You know why? It's because they need to have networking opportunities. That's where great colleges like Harvard does excellent. And number one is it's sort of like not charisma, but that's not the right word. But
Really? So,
it's like work ethic and personality and it's your determination that, like for example, Tom Holland with his Spider-Man, he auditioned for 6 months straight to get that role. Like he auditioned 6 different times. They said no, 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 and the guys will then now I'm gonna keep on doing it. The sixth time he got it. So it's like perseverance. It's like the X factor. Like sometimes you have a really talented friend and they never do their homework, but they ace all the tests and they get a C in the class. Like it's so frustrating. You're like, man, you smarter than me, but I have a higher grade because you don't do the homework. Like that. But so that's what it is.
You said you did like some shows in like India and like those places. How did you set those up?
I didn't set them up. I didn't make those shows. I just like acted in the show. So the one in Scotland was from the school, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival one where we did 4 shows over there. And it was very fun. We met a lot of great people. I met my twin who goes to North Carolina or they live in North Carolina. And you meet a lot of great people there. So that counts as an international show and it was really, really fun. And there was one in India where the India one was super, super hard. Like, because you gotta sometimes speak Hindi, and I'm not the best Hindi speaker, so it was really hard. But those international shows get you a more different perspective on how different people, like different places view theater, not also view theater, but like how they do, like how they think about it and how they perform it.
Is
Because
it is
if
it
you
like the process different too, like the setting up and stuff?
100%. The process is different. Like in Scotland, we had like we had literally like 10 minutes to set up, so it's more very efficient. In like the UK, in India, it's, everything's different, especially for me because you're not they don't even use English that much. It's most of just use Hindi, and I can. For me, what was hard is I can speak Hindi somewhat good. I can understand Hindi 100%. I cannot read it. So that is like
oh,
suck to get the script and be like, oh, like I had to sometimes translate it like on like if they have to write it in English for me so I can say it in Hindi.
like romanization.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I say that's the hardest. India was the hardest process. It was very different. A lot of people are involved. Um, they're very more hands on. You have more freedom of acting here than in India. India is very more set. Like walk like this, put your hand like this, shake it like this. And so the director tells you to do that. But in the United States here, they're like, just shake his hand and you can shake his hand like you can dab him up. You give them a cool handshake. You can do whatever.
Do you have like an acting coach? Like how do you like track improvement?
Um, for me, I just like try to like use a different lot of different articles and a lot of different books to like improve my acting. I do have an acting coach, but I use him like I should use him more. He's a really great guy. He's a Emmy award-winning Emmy. He won an Emmy, so he's very, very good at what he does. Um, so I should definitely have to contact him more and like work on my acting skills a little bit more with him. For me, I would say I'm very raw. Like when I use that raw in acting, it means this guy has a lot of talent, but he needs a perfection. Like he can, like he can be. Hey, there's like levels in acting. There's 5 levels. There's like let's choose an emotion. Let's say sad. Like 5 means like you're just straight up crying. Like like you're creating a whole river because you're crying that much. So I can get to 5 and I can do 1, but it's hard to go to the 2 level, 3 level, 4 level, which is like you're sad but you're not too sad. So that's where you get acting coaches to help you out to understand how to do that, to understand how to truly emphasize a character naturally, especially on stage not really, but but in film, like what do you see in a film? You're like, oh, that can probably happen in real life, unless it's like some Tom Cruise type stunt.
So I have a random question. Are you like able to control your emotions like so well when you're acting like get to 1 and then get to 5, and you can just like cry on the man like if you have to, like you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like at that
I
level.
thought you were about to ask me, can I cry right now?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Could you cry right now?
for me, I can do a lot of emotions. Crying, I can get there, but it takes me a minute. Like if it's a monologue, then I can definitely cry on the monologue. But for me, like right now, how I work on like acting on crying command, because it's like a process. Because for me, it's a little harder. Um, so first you have to drink a lot of water to always like have like get ready for your eye glands. But also, what some actors do is they choose a like a moment in their life to like cry about. For me, I feel like that's just like you're just sort of abusing yourself. So what I do is I chose a specific song to choose, and every time I hear that song, I start crying. So that's how I sort of work on crying on command. So if I played the song, I would definitely start like I would almost cry or straight up cry. Like for me, I'd be like almost crying or I'm like crying full on crying. So I'm almost getting to the point where I don't need this song and I can cry, but I'm not there just yet. No one asked me to cry, man. I'm not trying to go up to school
Yeah,
crying.
yeah, I get it. So you use like mental cues and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
my parents. I'm gonna walk to my parents and be like, "Did they say something abusive to you? Why are you crying?" I'm like, "You guys have
How much would you say like the looks matter?
oh that that's a good one. Oh, okay. So sadly, looks do matter. 100% looks matter. Like if you ugly, you done. Just get facial surgery. For me, I'm not like ugly, but I'm not like 10 out of 10 handsome. So I'm like fine. Like so I'm sort of blessed in the way that I can still get on stage and people's like, oh, that guy's ugly. He's like, this guy's fine-ish, so fine. Especially if I shave. I not haven't shaved just yet, so it's fine. But looks do matter, um, especially like models, like people who are like look like models, they get very easy shots to go, even though if they're a bad actor. But especially that's why like you haven't seen like an ugly actress like in big movies or like an ugly like hero. It's just like you can't unless you're super great at what you do. Then it's fine. But it's sort of on looks, but you don't need to be the best looking, but you just can't be ugly. But it does help if you're very handsome or beautiful. So 100% helps. It gives you more opportunities, but that's why you have to build on your talent. Like I say, like if you're the best at something, something's bound to happen because you're the best at it.
What would you say like the normal career progression is for like an actor? Like before I get in one of those big movies.
So you mean just for like because there's a lot of actors out there. Some of them who don't even break it. So some actors like work like not worst case, but basically some actors try to get big roles and they sort of they don't either it's because they're very top either it's because they can't open doors or they need to work on their talent, and if that happens they sort of stay in like a supporting role or just an extra or like a very small role all the time. And for people who have talent, so there's a difference between people who can't get opportunities and people who don't have talent. If you can't get opportunities but you're talented, and the moment you get one single break, you're set. That's what happened to Chris Pratt. Like he has very talented. He got one slim opportunity by like just coincidence, and he's said it. But if you have a lot of, but if you have no like less talent or not good talent, then you can't get anything, even with opportunities. So it's more so of for me, I'm right now trying to build all my talent before I try to even try to open a door. Cause because for like for normal, if you're very good, like if you're very talented, then how the progression works is you get an extra, you you get an extra, then you audition. Well, for like talented people, usually if the directors are casting, especially casting directors can see talent. So if they see a talented person, they're gonna cast you, and then usually your career is very high profile then. But if you don't have talent, then your career is you probably need to work two jobs maybe.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years. So I'm 18, so I'm gonna be 28. Oh, I'm gonna be old. Ah, in 10 years. Like realistically or dream wise or
Realistically.
realistically.
It can be dream wise too, you know.
Dream wise and realistically. They're sort of the same.
Yep, it's the same.
So I see myself 28. Honestly, before I answer this, in acting, they do a lot of, especially in the film, they do a lot of typecasting. You guys know what typecasting is?
Nah. I
It's
like know
like
nothing about theater.
typecasting is, let's say you play bully in a movie. For the rest of your life, you're gonna play bullies only. That's what typecasting is. You play a scared person or a goofy guy. You're always like Kevin Hart. You've never seen him actually play a serious role because he played it. He's getting typecasted as like a goofy guy. And Rock gets typecasted. Dwayne the Rock Johnson gets typecasted as the hero and who's sort of funny, but also like has muscles. So typecasted. So what I'm trying to portray myself to the industry is like a Tom Holland, Tom Cruise esque person. Like I'm willing to do my own stunts. I'm willing to do action. Like if I could get in action movies, I'd be fine. Cause I'm funny, but I'm not Kevin Hart funny. But if I'm trying to learn to get to Kevin Hart funny, but it's pretty hard. So I would say I'm funny, but I need to learn more. So I'm not trying to put myself in comedy movies, but I definitely can. Like I'm a great comedy actor, but personally, I would try to want to be an actor. So what I like an action actor. So 10 years, I would say 10 years. I would say maybe no, 10 years like a Mission Possible sequel. Tom like the main character or James Bond. Actually, I can't even play James Bond. I ain't white. You can't if you're not white, you can't play James Bond. But definitely some sort of action movie where I do my own stunts and something big in the industry, like Blockbuster, something big in the industry.
What's like
You're
the
British. You're British though. And like, weren't they gonna cast like someone that wasn't white as James Bond? That's what I heard. You could be the next James Bond, Farhan,
Yeah,
because
I
you're
can go.
British.
I can if I change my hairstyle. Honestly, I think I can go past as like Italian, like very Southern Italian.
what's like your biggest piece of advice for like people who want to become like actors like you?
Biggest piece of advice. The people who are just starting out.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I would say, first of all, always like practice. But I need to tell people like the secret sauce because I sort of struggled with this for 4 years and I'm still struggling with it now. But I have a great like a grasp understanding is um to like get stronger, you hit the gym. To get faster, you hit the track. To get smarter, you read a book. For acting, You can't really read a book. You can't really hit the gym to do it. Acting is more of a mental thing. Also, it's more practicing. So just like practice even 10 minutes a day. Even though you won't see any improvement then, if you spend 2 weeks on it, you'll definitely see mass improvement, especially on your vocals. Like, just work on your vocals. Like, first, you have to find your biggest strength and weakness. Like, my biggest strength is I'm very good at physicality. Like, I'm very good at, if I'm an uptight business dude, I'm very good at portraying my physicality. My weakness, I would say, is vocal, not vocal, but like vocal tone. So, when I'm like, this is like a monotone voice, but if I'm excited, then you have to sort of uplift your voice to sound excited without increasing your volume. So I would say find your biggest weakness, work on it. And another big one is don't just like take what's given to you, especially like if you're unexperienced. If you get a small role, you might be bummed out and be like, I'm not gonna do this show. Just do the show. You get experience. Um, especially like befriend people who are like lead roles and learn from them. Like it's sort of like don't try to copy them word for word, or don't try to copy how they act, because you'll never be better than someone if you copy them, because you'll always be like the 2.0 version and the original is always going to be better. But like just grab something, learn something from them, and then learn something from everybody, and then if you can put it together with your current acting skills or who you really are, like then you can be one like very very good. Like for me, I just carry, like if I see a show, I have a notepad and I just write down like things I really liked and I things I wouldn't have thought of. Like someone was doing a show and they had a line. They're like, "Oh, how dare you!" But they said it. They said it instead of yelling it. They said it like, this is very basic, but they sort of said it in a calm tone but very serious tone. I'm like, that's smart. I'll keep that in my book. Like, so I would definitely say have an acting book as well.
I would love to ask, like, how does acting, like, how has it helped you in like other areas of life? Because I always see you at school. You got that aura, you know what I mean? And like, it seems like it really helps with all this other stuff, with the
Honestly,
positive attitude you always carry.
hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, thanks, Brendan. So honestly, acting for me, my parents always said I was very unsocial, as more of an introvert. But with acting, you turn into an extrovert, so you get to know a lot more people. Like you won't be afraid. If I see like funny story, I was at, it's not funny, but just a story. I went to Bellevue Mall and I saw a random dude checking out hats. And I just went up to the guy and said, "What's up?" and strike the conversation. They went to Bellevue High and they're a freshman, and then I just became his friend. And now I see him in the hallway and say, "What's up?" So just wanting to, I acting helped me just like socialize with people, or like just have the honestly the confidence. Like I'm a very confident dude. I can go. You can give me any dare, like without shame, fear, or arrest, obviously, and I will do it. Like because I'm a very confident guy. So I would definitely say acting helps, but also what sometimes people's like what some people's like, when does acting not help you? Sometimes if you think about acting too much, then you sort of lose your personality and your self identity. But something sometimes I struggle with, but over junior year, senior year, I learned to do better. So
You know
that's
how like actors like sometimes they like become their character like off the set
yeah,
as well.
exactly.
How do they maintain like their own personality like while being the character?
Okay, so there's different types of method to acting. There's method acting, there's what if acting, and there's just character acting. What I do, and it's more risky, is method acting. So people method acting is you turn into that character. So example, James, let's say the Joker, Heath Ledger, he's a method actor. He like rest his soul. He's a great actor. Mate, like rest in peace. And he was a method actor, which means he turned himself into the Joker. Like there I think I forgot there's a movie called Taxi, right? The main character literally drove a taxi for 12 months to understand the character. He turned into the character. That's why method actors have the best performances sometimes, or usually. That's why method actors win the award that uh the the awards most of the time, because they turn themselves into the actor or into the character. But the other one that also wins awards, but you have to have a really great personality or just a really great like you can do a lot of things. Just a really great person is like character acting or like what if acting, which is if I was this person, like they're like, if this happened to me, what would I do? That's why Robbie Downer Jr. is so good at Iron Man. He's not playing into Iron Man. He's just being himself, but he's like, what would I do if this happened to me? Like if someone pointed at a gun, what do I do? I'd like flip it and like shoot him. That's you're not going into that character. You're just being yourself, but you're saying, what if this situation happened to me? That's another way of acting. So the people that sort of lose their personalities, the method actors, which is me. I'm a method actor.
The Zoom meeting timed out, so we just resumed where we left off.
Hey,
All right.
let me change my name, bro. I'm not having it my brother's name.
Oh, you have a brother?
Yeah.
Is he gonna go into acting too?
Nah, bro. He ain't following my footsteps. He being a lawyer. He's a good lawyer, bro.
Becoming a lawyer?
Yeah.
Does he not like
He's a
acting?
good
Why is he not like acting?
he tried it. He didn't like he's good at it. He's good, but he doesn't like it. Or
Oh,
that's not his cup of tea. It's not like he doesn't like it, but just like it's something he doesn't want to do.
I see.
Talent, like you're talking about all that talent, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else that got that kind of talent? Like I think Colin would be a great actor.
Honestly, yo, give
What?
me your best. Like, let me hear to. Let me give you a line. Uh. Oh, the moment you pulled that knife out. The moment you pulled that knife out is when you killed me. Let me hear that line, Colin.
I wait. Can you type it out? Type it on the chat.
Okay, this guy wants me to type it out. Okay,
Like what? How do you want me to perform it?
okay. Well, let me first type
I'm so confused
the
right now.
moment you pulled out. Now is the moment.
What if you just start improving with Colin?
uh, podcast to improv show. Okay, I'll give you like the context for you to rile up your emotions.
Okay.
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 Okay. So you just escaped. So we're pretending you got a wife and kids, by the way. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Brendan's so in this now. You got a
Yeah.
wife and kids? Don't get too excited.
Brennan loves that, bro. Brennan loves that.
This is Colin's wife and kids, okay? Not yours. Okay. Hey, okay. This is sad. So this Colin smile's gonna wipe away. Okay, so you just escaped from your house because there's like these gangsters trying to kill you. They killed your wife and your kid. Now you're escaping on this train. You're escaping on the train.
This is really good for like my man mood, bro.
Yeah, you're escaping on the train, right? And you're with a trusted best friend, basically like Brendan, right? And there's like
I
a
wouldn't trust
bounty.
Brendan with anything, bro.
Just let
Oh,
me
you can't be saying that. You can't be saying
Okay.
that. I'm right here, brother.
Okay, your most trusted friend, okay? Whoever your most trusted friend is. Okay, just imagine you have that in your head, your most trusted friend.
Okay.
Okay, I swear if this guy was about to say I don't got one, I'm like,
Okay.
so you got that. Okay, they're with your train with you and they're like helping you. There's a bounty on you that is whoever kills you will get like $1 million, right? And you're just chilling there talking with your friend, and then your friend pulls out this knife trying to kill you. And now then you say this line.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
Now say the line with emotion.
That's tough, bro. It's so hard. Actually, crazy hard, bro. There's
I'll
no.
give you a hint. You don't say this line smile.
It's hard for me to stop smiling right now, bro. This is like insane. Hell, let me try. All right.
Brendan, stop smiling, Brendan.
It's funny, bro. The moment you pulled out that knife is the moment you killed me.
Okay, we'll take that. We take that. We take that.
You want to deliver it? Deliver it. You try. Brendan,
Wait. Let's
Brendan,
hear from
Brendan,
Brendan,
you gotta
Farhaan
show
first.
it.
let Brendan try first. Brendan, give us your best attempt.
Wait, like, is this like in the moment? Like they're literally like pulling it out right now? Because
No, they
it kind of
pulled it
feels like
out.
it's a
You
third
caught them.
person.
You pulled it out and you caught them because you know they're trying to kill
Okay.
you. And you say this line.
The moment you pulled that knife out is the moment that you killed me.
I'm
That
trying
was
to
really
hide that
bad. That
devious
was
ass
really bad.
smile.
That was really bad. The smile. The smile was really bad.
It looks like you're about to cry for a second, so I gotta give you props. My God.
Who's
And
better? Who's better? Who's
the
better?
first sentence was good. The second sentence was
You were trying to hide that devious smile.
a devious smile on this one.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry, Colin, but I have to give it to Brendan. Brendan looks like he was about to cry at the end of it.
All right, all right. You try it. You try it.
I try. Okay, okay, okay.
High expectations here.
High expectations, bro. Hey, moment I do this, Harvard's gonna rescind me, bro. All right. All right. Okay, you guys got me in a juvenile mood right now. Okay. Let's lock in. The moment you pulled that knife out is the moment you killed me.
Okay, that was so good. That sounds like
Pretty
it
good,
could have
bro.
came from a
That was
movie.
hella good. That was
That
hella
That was
good.
sounds like
not
it,
good. That was not
That
good,
was
bro.
tough though. You put on the spot.
compared to us. Compared to us.
Hey, the only thing that I got on you guys is I wasn't smiling.
It's hard not
No, no,
smile,
but
dude. It's really
like the
hard not
pauses,
smile,
like the
bro.
pauses were immaculate, right? Like Colin was just like, the moment you pull that knife out is the moment you killed me. That was Colin, okay? I just did it, Colin, right there. But you were like, is the moment you killed me. Like you like had those like pauses so perfectly placed,
I
okay?
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
The glaze be crazy.
Yeah, bro, I'm not bread. You stop buttering me up, bro.
Yeah. But what if I'm just a good butter knife?
This guy's like, I'm the best better knife in the nation.
Oh, so how do those like model actors like how do they like keep the personality?
Oh, yeah. Like I was saying, I had such a good response the moment you cut up, I had the greatest response of all time. But so what people do is you have to get a hobby. So you just like you're still stuck in with that hobby. That's what people do to get back to themselves. And also you have to sort of like you have to also you can't forget yourself. Like just sometimes be yourself. Like what method actors do is all they do is try to be this other person or they're being this other person. And then when they finish that role, like the guy who played Elvis and the actor who played Elvis Presley in the Elvis Presley movie, after he did that, because he was a method actor, he lost his voice and all he could talk was the Elvis Presley voice. Like it was crazy. Like he could only talk in the Elvis Presley voice. You know, Elvis Presley has a unique voice. He's like, he'd be like, "Ladies and gentlemen," or something like that. That was not very good. I had a good impression of him before, but I haven't done it in a while. So that's used to be so for method actor, you sort of have to sometimes like take a break and give an hour to yourself just to be you, like let it all out. Because method actors sometimes think only about acting 24/7 and they never think about themselves. Because they overthink everything, and when you overthink everything, you're never truly yourself. So the moment you stop thinking is the moment you be your true self.
So some feel like method acting is like compared to just like basic code switching, you know what I mean? Like how we always like move through these different social circles and we have to like act different ways around different people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. It is sort of like that. Yeah. I saw this video. It sort of speaks to this where um there's a Rubik's Cube. You know how Rubik's Cube has six sides, and after you solve, usually most people solve one side because we can't solve all six. So it's like one social circle is red, and then after you talk with them, you switch it up and they face it to blue. So that's what we everyone sort of does. But that's sort of what method acting is. You switch yourself up, and sometimes uh it hurts you when you switch yourself up so many times. It actually sometimes it hurts your popularity in the long run, and it helps your popularity in the short run. Um, and also for tying this to method acting, it's like it's not healthy. It's also not too healthy to overdo method acting, So that's why what if acting is very healthy. Like it's like if I was myself, like what if acting is basically like egocentric. It's basically all about you. That's what you know. What Adam's, what's his name? Adam Sandler. I forgot that guy's name. Like there's a famous comedian actor. He just acts like himself all the time. Like Kevin Hart, he ain't acting like he's not method acting. He's just being himself. Like like he was in the one action movie and there's like a gun that coming right in front of him. He wasn't acting. He wasn't thinking, what would my character do? He's like, what would I do? Chuck that grenade at Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He'll deal with it, like something like that. So yeah, that's why I sort of also try to do like method what if acting, but I'm more so a method actor.
All right, Brian, do you have any more questions?
No, I think that's good. So, Farhan, do you have any closing words you want to say, or any like last pieces of advice?
Um, first of all, thank you for letting me go on this podcast. It was truly an honor.
No, thank
Thank
you, Farhan. Thank you for showing up
thank you, Colin. Thank you,
and
Brendan.
giving your time.
Just like some final words is don't be afraid to be yourself. Uh, don't try to be someone you don't really are, and just try to be yourself. Don't overthink stuff. It's okay to be a method actor, but don't be a method actor 24/7. Give at least 1 hour a day to yourself. And if you're a what if actor, just improve. Just do make sure you just do a lot of experiences so you experience a lot of things. That's it. Farhan Siddiqui out.
All right, thank you for coming on.
Okay, thank
And
you
then
so
another
much.
episode of the B-qubed podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.